Hello and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is a Sunday special. We love a Sunday special, but it's extra special today because we have a extra special guest. Musician, recording artist, singer, songwriter, Olivia O'Brien. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. Good to be seen?
It's
okay.
great to be seen.
Do you feel seen?
Good start for us.
Yes. Always running smoothly, yeah.
What you got an EP coming out June 21st, Love and Limerence. We were just talking before. I have no idea what Limerence is.
Yes.
And you don't know what an EP is.
Didn't know what an EP. Oh, okay,
Sorry,
Olivia.
I'm
It's going to be
calling you
between
out.
us.
Yeah.
Don't know anything.
I know nothing. Okay, I'm a big idiot. What is Love and Limerence? It's two tracks are out already.
Yeah.
So you can go listen on Spotify anywhere you go listen to music. But what is
the song about, and what is Limerence for people who don't know, including Jared?
Limerence is kind of right. It's kind of become a TikTok buzzword, as we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
But it's essentially just like when someone thinks that they're in love with someone, but it's actually kind of delusional and obsessive.
Ooh.
So not like unrequited, and if you tend to like fall in love, think you're in love with someone and have a crush on someone like really immediately, and it's really intense like right off the bat, and then it tends to fizzle out. That's typically like when you're in limerence.
So limerence is like a vibe, a feeling. It's like an umami.
It's kind of, it's like an obsession with someone who you don't really know on an intimate level.
Yeah.
Right.
A crush is just a lack of information.
Ooh, I like that.
That's got to be in the next song.
I stole that from TikTok for
Did
sure.
you? Oh,
yeah.
fuck. Okay.
Everything I say is pretty much
Everything.
stolen from TikTok.
Are you big on TikTok? You like TikTok?
I love TikTok.
Love it.
But I like to look more than I like to post.
So you're a lurker.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a lurker as well.
I read the comments on every single video I see on my For You page.
Every
people
video
are talking about. So it makes it so much more interesting. Like, what does everyone have to say about this?
It's interesting. The commenters. It's like, are they people or are they the most, emotionally stricken people? Like, do we trust the commenters?
It depends. It really depends. I mean, I don't trust like a random comment that says something like insane, but if it's like something that and everyone's like replying, agreeing with it, then it's
Okay.
Would you ever comment?
Do I comment like on certain like if something's like really funny or if I have like something to add to the conversation? Yeah, I'm
right.
I'm a pretty big commenter, I would say.
Do people go like, oh my God, Olivia O'Brien just commented on my stuff? Like, do people
Every
go
once
wild?
in a while.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll like if there's a video on my For You page that doesn't have that many likes, but I'm like I'm early on. Like I'm like, okay, this is funny.
Me being early is helpful to this thing I think is funny.
No, not that.
But could be. I would assume that.
Maybe, but like a lot of people, if I comment on like a random video that has like 40 likes, people are like, "What are you doing here? What's happening?"
Right.
Versus if I'm
How'd you get here?
Yeah. So I've gotten that before, but if it's like a viral video, like no one's gonna care that I commented,
Well,
Right.
an Olivia O'Brien fan would. I
Possibly.
would. That's kind of cool. But
So is the song like about a dating experience you had? Do you feel like you had a limerence experience? Someone had that. I feel like if you're in the public eye, people are more likely to have that for you, right?
No, it's like
you don't feel limerence right now?
No, the first single that I released from the project is called Blip, and that song is kind of about limerence. So the project's called Love and Limerence, so it's like about all of my experiences with romantic love.
Okay.
And then because I've been writing a lot of songs in the past couple of years, and I was like, how do I divide these up, and like how do I release them? I didn't want to do like a full like 20 song album, so I'm doing like little projects and little parts. So I just put all the songs about romantic love into one little project, and that's what this is.
So this is a dating and relationship podcast. Are you seeing something happen in your love life?
No.
And you're like, that's a thing? Or you see nothing. You're blind.
Nothing
in your
is
own
happening
love.
in my love life.
Nothing? You're
I don't have one.
not dating anyone?
No.
Nobody?
No.
How do you date?
I don't.
You don't. What last date you went on? When was it?
I don't really go on dates. I like have like situationships. And
So
then
last situationship, what was the meetup?
it was like a week ago.
Where'd you meet?
We met at a party
L.A.?
in LA. Yeah.
See, the L.A. parties, the way I see it, maybe you could tell me I'm wrong. I'm old man Jared. You're young Gen Z Olivia. Everyone's a little bit interconnected at an LA party, it feels like, because it's hard to you just show up at someone's house. So you have to be invited through someone else. LA is more
like you're in
pods.
college.
It's a little more college because in LA, whenever I go, I feel very alone because as a visitor,
You have no friends.
no friends, no nothing. There's no community in LA. It's more like I got my group. Like going to a bar in New York,
You
could
run into people,
you can rub elbows with people. LA, there's less elbow rubbing. I'm at my house with the people I know who invited people they know. So this person that you met at the party,
Everyone's
is that through?
Everyone's kind of like a friend of a friend, I feel like.
Right.
That's like how you
That's
meet
very
people.
LA to me.
Yeah. Even just like, because I've been here for like almost a week and like I have been just going, like you just walk around and I run into people I know, I meet new people, like you just walk on the street and go into random bars and it's so
Right.
fun. Here that's like, it's so fun.
More available to you.
In LA, that's not a thing. Like our New York friends were like, where do you guys go out in LA? And I was like, I don't. Like, I literally don't. I go to parties sometimes. There's like a couple bars that I like I'm starting to hate now because as soon as people find out that a place is like fun or cool, then everyone starts going and then it's like not fun anymore because there's like a line
Thanks
down the
to
block.
your TikTok friends, Olivia.
Well, yeah.
Right. So do you feel like when you're saying you don't really go on dates, do you think that's like a generational thing or is that more of a you thing?
I think a little bit. I'm also just really bad at dating. I've never had a long-term relationship really. And yeah, I'm just not a dater. I have like a lot of trauma from like being ugly in high school and people like dating me as a joke and making fun of me. So like I just don't date.
Dating you as a joke?
Yeah, I was really ugly and weird.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I've had like 3 nose jobs.
What?
Your nose looks great.
Thank you.
I'm sure it looked great before, like, but you know, you felt that it was a joke, you know, like
No, it was a joke. Like they would be like, haha, I'm kidding.
like out of the movies, like
Yeah, it was
show
like-
up in the
I went
limo,
to-
throw
She's
eggs
not
at you at
like
prom.
you do not look like
I
the
went to-
girl where like that people are making fun of.
I went
for
to
their
Catholic
looks.
school in a small town. It was brutal.
So I actually wanted to ask about that. You have a hit single that a single pops off when you're 17 years old.
I was 16.
16 years old, and you write this. You wrote the song, so it's "Love You, Hate You."
Hate you, I love you.
Hate you, I love you. Sorry, big fucking asshole.
killing it
Okay,
today.
yeah. This isn't. We don't want to get in the weeds here.
Yeah.
Okay. Hate you, I love you. Are you writing about someone specific?
Yeah.
Is that person 16 as well?
I was 15 when I wrote the song. I think he was 16 or 17.
Isn't that weird though? I as a guy, as like a straight idiot dude who doesn't know what limerence means.
Mm-hmm.
At 16, the things that are going on in my head, like we were talking before, like Travis Kelce, his tweets versus like a Taylor Swift song. Like,
Yeah.
you know, his
Yeah.
tweets are like, I saw a squirrel,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Versus like, oh my God, the love and limerence of it all. You know, like I wouldn't even know the language to speak to write a song at 15, 16. Do you feel like that guy like had the wherewithal
No.
to be written about?
No, they never do.
Right.
They never do. Absolutely never.
I just imagine this like high school doofus in
Well,
Napa being like, "What she wrote about me?
But
You hate me?"
you also say that like men are play dumber than they actually are.
I agree
He
with
was really
that.
dumb. He had to quit football because he had too many like concussions. They thought he had so much brain damage that he couldn't play anymore.
Is he
Oh, wow.
okay?
He's fine now. Yeah, he's in the Air Force.
He's in the air. Okay.
Yeah.
Got what was coming to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for serving our
Does he know
country.
that you does he know you wrote a song
Yeah,
about him?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone in school was like, you wrote a song about him.
I mean, it's like a number one song. Was that the people were making fun of
Does
that?
he reach
yeah,
out
it was
to
so
you?
bad.
Really?
It was awful. I would go to parties and like they would play the song and like sing it to me and like I would run out crying.
I feel like that would be like the coolest thing that
No.
you could possibly have would be like a song.
No.
The top. No.
Really?
No.
So the high school was like, I get. Well, I
you're
guess
from California, right?
From Napa though, so it's like
Okay.
it's like small town energy.
So there was no
It's the
there was no
Farmville.
thought of like this is really cool.
no.
Really?
No, it was horrible. So I started doing SoundCloud, and so I would post like little covers, and they were really bad. Like it was like recorded
Mm-hmm.
on my iPhone 4, like from the SoundCloud app. You press start, and then you press stop. I wouldn't edit it. If I made a mistake, I would just leave it in. Really, really bad stuff.
And it's a public profile.
Yeah,
on
obvious-
SoundCloud.
yeah, it was like-
SoundCloud was like a social media for
Yeah.
music. Yeah.
So
We used to put the podcast on there.
We used to, yeah.
yeah, that's
in
SoundCloud
the
was
day.
like the go. Like that's how I
Listen,
found so much music back in the day too.
A lot of people might have found this podcast via that. So I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was doing that and like I was getting made fun of because it's like, oh, you think something's gonna happen? Like that's so embarrassing that you're posting this stuff.
Interesting.
Then as soon as something did happen, it immediately flips to, oh my god, this girl thinks she's so cool. It's like, how would would I ever think I
Right.
was cool when you guys have literally been telling me I'm not cool for the past like my entire life, and now you think I think I'm cool because I have a song? Like I actually don't think this is cool. This is embarrassing.
Right.
And then I had to leave school and I moved to LA when I was 16 because I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't even go to school. It was so.
So he was the winner in this shit
No,
talk?
no, he's
Like-
a nice guy. Honestly, it wasn't him that was making fun of me. It was like everyone else because everyone knew it was about him.
But are they looking at him like I guess being vulnerable in high school is like the hardest thing in the world, and a song is vulnerable. You know, you're saying your
How you
feelings
feel,
out
yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
So
That's not appreciated in high school.
Right,
It is
right.
in
People
the
always
real world,
care so much about who you're writing the song about, and people that aren't like writers don't understand. Like not everyone, but a lot of people that aren't writers, especially teenagers, they don't understand like this is an expression of my emotions and it's an art form. Just because I'm writing a song about someone doesn't mean I'm like obsessed with them or
Well-
it's any of the specific thing. I was inspired by a situation and I wrote about it.
let me go back at that a little bit, because right now there's incentive to write about someone. If you think about it, like if you're a singer-songwriter out there, you see Taylor Swift, who is a billionaire, and they see a song from you that was a hit. They see songs from women writing about their feelings about so-and-so guy or girl, whoever they're dealing with. And TikTok teaches you, repeat the thing you saw do well.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely.
do you feel that in your songwriting? Do you see that was successful before? Or do you try your best to stick to your emotional state and just speak for that? Like, that must be hard.
Yeah, I mean, I try to avoid now having anyone know about who I wrote about because I've had like a few little public things here and there with people and now anytime I release a song, it's like, this is about blah, blah, blah. This is about blah, blah.
Right.
And they try to like connect it I'm like, you don't know 90% of my dating experiences or my life at all. And no, even if you try to cover it up, people will still try to attach it to something that they may know about you.
Right.
So I'm already like stuck in this weird position. And like I had a song called Jocelyn a few years ago and like everyone knew who it was about. And I tried to like hide it for so long because it was really embarrassing for me. And I didn't want to be that person where it's like about someone else. I think and it happens pretty much only to women. If you think about it, like when a guy writes like a love song about a girl, even if people do know who it's about, they're like, oh, that's so sweet. Like I would run back to him if he wrote this song about me. And then if a girl
Right.
does it, they're
Right.
like, that's so embarrassing. Get up, girl. Like me and my friend Lydia were talking about this the other day. It's like, oh my God, we're doing the same thing. And it's like, so people like love it when a guy does that. And if a girl does it, it's like, this is embarrassing, queen. Like over this man, like that's so embarrassing for you. It's like, I'm just writing about my feelings.
Well, I guess there's like this societal feeling that women are supposed to be chaste. And so when you're writing a song about someone, then you're like, yeah, you're clingy or you're like,
chasing,
right.
you're
Yeah.
doing the
Whereas when a man
chasing,
does
right.
it, it's like, the classic love story that you see in a rom-com is like a woman who's not interested, who's like, I don't like him at all. And then he like wins her.
Yeah.
Right. It's usually not a woman chasing a guy who's like not interested in her. That's seen as more like sad, I guess, in the movies.
When I see a man write about like a love song about a woman, it is interesting. I don't think of who it's about. I actually think that I think it's a grift. I'm always like, they're writing about nobody. They're just trying to get teenage
No man
women.
could feel that way
Right.
about-
I like every NSYNC Backstreet Boys song to me, I'm like, they weren't feeling this way.
they didn't write those.
Right. I know. Like, but who wrote those? I'm like, was it a woman writing for men about women? Like, I have that kind of feeling inside me where I'm like, it feels like it's just trying to get teenage girls to like these boy bands.
Well,
I
are
don't
these
know.
like odes to these songs? Are they like odes to the men, or are they like talking about how you were like fucked
No,
with?
never. I've never written a love song in my life. It's
Right.
always
Right.
like,
Here's how I felt.
it's always like a fuck you song. It's never like it's
Right.
But even it's just always seen as like, oh, you're writing this song because you're trying to blah blah. It's like I'm literally just experiencing something and
Right.
writing about it because that's what inspires me, and I just write about my emotions because that's my art form and it's my therapy. Like there's nothing more to it than that, and people just like love to read into it because I don't know, it's just they find it so interesting.
Right. I don't know.
I think those are the best, though. I mean, like Carol. There's a Carol King song, "Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?" It's essentially just about like her sleeping with a guy and then very anxious that he's not going to be into her the next day,
relatable to
Right.
all generations.
which is like
Right.
what a great, amazing song.
Yeah.
right.
I think those are the best songs. Not like who wants to hear about how into someone you
But
are?
I do think right. But
boring.
I can understand how it ruins it for you, for someone to go beyond just here are my emotions. Like if I did a joke about a woman that I dated, if someone was like, well, who is she? Let me find her so I can, make
Right.
her feel bad about it. it would ruin the joke for me. It wouldn't be funny to me anymore. This is to relate to people. This is to show people, look we have the same emotional state out of a relationship. I want to say fuck you to this guy in the same way you want to say fuck you to that guy too.
And that's like the whole, I think that's what makes art is the idea that it's not about one, it could be anyone because it's such a universal human emotion. So I do think that's kind of crazy.
So the situationship. You meet this guy at a party.
Yeah, well, my friend was dating his friend, and then they like wanted us to like get together or whatever.
Okay.
And he was like obsessed with me, and I didn't know.
Obsessed with you? How
like,
would you describe?
He was telling all my other friends, like, can you please hook me up with Olivia, whatever.
This is going into the party where you met.
Yeah, we met at a party. I didn't like I like barely talked to him. I like didn't think about him twice. And then apparently that whole night he was trying to like get set up with me. Okay. And then I met him like a week and a half later or something at another party, same situation. And he told me all this stuff later. Like I found it out later. He like
great way to woo a woman.
Yeah. He apparently like got in his car at valet to like leave, and his friend called him and was like, Olivia wants to hang out, like come back. And he like gave his car back to the valet and like came back inside to like hang out with me.
Take the keys.
These are all things that again like hot for a guy. If you were telling this about like a woman doing this, you'd be like, oh my God, like, what a psycho.
Yeah.
She came back into the party. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then he comes back to the party. Do you guys talk then?
Yeah, and we all like went and hung out at his friend's house, and then like started a little thing.
How long ago was that?
This was like, I don't know, a couple months ago.
And then you've kept in touch a little bit and just see each other at these parties?
What makes it dating and what makes it a situationship and not just like someone you're seeing?
Well, like neither of us like want a relationship, so it's just kind of like, I don't know.
So would you describe, so when you were saying situationship, it's sort of like a mutual casual thing?
Yeah.
Okay. When I think of a situationship, I think there's like one person, I usually think of it as like there's one person with more power and one person who wants more. And so it's like kind of an uneven thing, and then it becomes like this toxic back and forth where one person won't commit and the other person's sort of like hanging around hoping they will.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like, that's a thing. But
Aversion.
I think that for me, I don't want a relationship. I'm not a relationship person. I don't do that. I always say that I never even really had like my first love or anything. Like I've dated people, but it was just like bad every single time. So I always say I'm too old to fall in love for the first time, but too young to fall in love for the last time, because I don't want to meet the person I'm gonna like be with.
Right.
And
you want
I
experiences.
like going out and like being single and being able, even if nothing happens, I like being like open to like whatever comes my way, especially just like, I don't know, I'm 24 and I want to like be doing that. So I will get myself into these situations where I'm like, oh, I like this person, but I don't want to date them. But if I don't say it first and then they feel that way back, I just start playing games. Like even if I don't want to date someone, if they tell me they don't want to date me, then I'm like mad about it, which is crazy. Like I love the chase.
It's very,
with everything.
it's 24,
that's what I was gonna say,
that's not, that's understandable.
Yeah.
The winning the person.
And also that stuff is what inspires my art. Like it's the limerence. It's the like, I will put myself into these situations that I know are toxic and like be with someone that I know also does not like really can't be in a relationship. And like I become like obsessed with just that idea, and I'll write my best stuff about that, and it'll never be anything. And that's fine.
Is the situationship guy, is he in the public eye?
No.
Have you dated someone? You've dated someone. I mean, it's been publicized that you've dated people in the public eye.
Yeah.
How do you date someone in the public eye? Because I always think of like if someone's like really, you have a huge following and you're dating someone else with a huge following themselves. How do you get together? Like, is there like secret rendezvous? Do you feel that? Or is it just, do you go to a bar? Is it different or is it not different?
Like, it's not really that different. I mean, it's not like I'm dating like an A-list celebrity. Like it's not, or no one's like getting like paparazzi. I mean, every once in a while, but like.
So there are paparazzi.
No, but it's like, I mean, we're not going like, if I go to like their house, like there's not like people with cameras outside their house. It's not like that.
Sure, but I mean, going to someone's house, like, is it a first date? Is it second date?
I don't go
like,
on dates.
No dates.
Like
they're hangs.
Do you think that's a Gen Z thing? No dates.
Yeah, I met like one of them like in Ibiza in like 2019. Like there was no one taking photos there.
Right.
we were like at a club, and then we just like started hanging out, and like then we would hang out at each other's like houses and stuff, and then like I meet people on Raya, like that's a place that I met people before, and like no one's like
When you meet up, it's like come over.
yeah, I mean, or like we get drinks at a bar, but there's no like no one's taking
Isn't that
photos.
a date then? If you get drinks at a bar,
I guess.
right?
Yeah, but like
You know, I guess you're not putting that importance on it.
It feels really casual.
very
Feels
formal.
right. Feels
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like that's very Gen Z. Like
Right.
a date is like very formal.
Well, I think that's also like young, like
Right.
I'm in my 20s. I'm not looking for a relationship, but I do
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
someone
I want to hang.
want to hang.
Yeah.
also every like date that I've been on, like a dinner date, has been like so bad and awful and horrible.
Right. Well, that's the formality of it all, too.
Well, Jared, can I ask you something about what Olivia had mentioned before?
Okay.
About like, so this guy is like pursuing you hard, right? Or he's, at least you hear about that in the story, that he's like had his eye on you and looking for you. And then I think a lot of men do this, and you talk about this early thing. And then there's like this bait and switch where like once they're like obsessed with you, and then once they get you, they're like, okay, now I can like decide.
Well, I think
Why do men do that?
The story he told you to me is very easy to tell. I was at the party and I've been telling everyone. He could have.
Oh no, my friend told me that. My friend saw us together at another party and was like, "Wait, you're talking to him? Like he was like obsessed with you at that party and would not stop asking me about you." And I was like,
Well,
oh.
I mean, like that, but that to me, like, is also like easy for your friend to say.
Why would my friend do that to me?
Well, hey,
You don't think that's true?
I think it's easy for him to tell a friend, "I'm obsessed with," like the words "I'm obsessed with her"
Okay.
to someone else is a very low stakes thing. Because then that friend is gonna waited until they saw you together to be like, hey, that guy's obsessed with, he was talking about you. Like I just don't, to me it's like romanticized. Like I gave the valet my keys and came back to the party. Like, yes, you did that, but like you had multiple opportunities to come talk to me, to come ask me out. It's a little bit of a dance.
I
to
wouldn't
me.
have said yes
To what?
if he talked to me or tried to ask me out the first 2 times I met him.
I mean, yeah, okay,
Well,
but
that's
he
what I'm
didn't
saying.
know that. Like
So what's
I
the-
just
Yeah,
think,
he did.
how do you know that?
Yeah, he knew because he was asking my friend, and my friend was like, "No,
Don't go after.
no." My friend was like, "She would not be into you." He's like, he's younger than me. He's 21. He's like not cute.
Okay.
He's like, I mean, after I got to know him,
Sounds like a catch.
After I got to know him, I was like, oh, he's cute.
Bad
Like,
personality, horrible looking.
Well, this is
I think
this
he's
is why
cute. My
the,
friends think he's not cute.
this is why the bait and switch happens. He's
yeah.
21.
Well-
he's a loser, and then
Yeah.
he gets the girl. He goes, "I can do much better. Look, fuck this. I'm going to the
that's what
next.
I'm saying. That's
go to
why-
the next mountain."
That's what the annoying thing is, I think, especially in your early 20s, about dating, is like there seems to be these things like these guys who are pursuing you, chasing you, and then you're like, all right, I'll give this guy a shot. He seems really into me. This seems like it could be like safer than someone
Yeah.
else. And then
he's like,
they-
actually, I don't like you.
Yeah, then they get with you and they're like, oh, actually, never mind. But then
if-
by that time, you're like already very deeply in.
But if the premise of the date was casual, like when we're talking about like you getting drinks with someone, if the guy's there under the same premise of like, I don't want to date and get serious, I'm just here to have fun and meet
No
someone
one talks
new.
about that before you hang. Like if that's something you talk about like 4 hangs in.
Right.
Like, so on the first few dates, you don't know if what anyone wants.
Right. But you're also in wooing phase. You're trying to like make someone like you.
Yeah,
Just
I
like you
guess.
said, you want them to like you. He's trying to win you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're just looking for something casual or to hang, why try that hard? Why not just go for someone that's already into you?
That is a misconception to me. Why would someone do this if they just want casual? Like I think that the
Why would
idea
they?
that they would go to like the next person over who wants casual, like you vibe with the person you're talking with. If you can have a good conversation with someone, you keep going down that road.
Casual doesn't mean you'll take anyone.
Right.
That's basically
That doesn't
what you're
right.
Yeah, you still have to like want to hang out with the person and enjoy spending time with them.
Right. And casual has to feel right for both people. Like some of the best casual relationships are 2 people that are on the same page, that are easy to talk with each other. You know,
When
and then
does
they
that
go-
happen?
I mean, it has a limit, I think.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
there's
How
a
long do you
point.
think you could be in a casual thing with someone before it was like, all right, this is like too long to hang out with someone where it's going nowhere?
I don't know. I don't know. I've had like 3-year-long fucking situationships before, so don't ask me.
3-year long.
I mean, like there would be like we would date people in between and then like go back to each other and then like.
So you're going, and you said you don't drink in LA.
I mean, I every once in a while, but like I don't. It's
That's
going
not
out
your
is
place.
so not like when I'm here or when I'm in London. Like I love going out because it's so fun and it's just a different vibe.
It's
In LA,
social.
going out is like really not the vibe.
Takes a while to get places.
I'm with you. I was in LA and I was at the Frolic Room. It has a cool look. It's got that red light that's very LA to me, like rocker 80s. And it just was like, it wasn't like a communal bar. It wasn't like there was like people hanging.
Doesn't feel casual.
Yeah, it's really rare that like places in LA are fun, and then as soon as they're fun for like a month, and then it's not fun anymore.
Olivia, we're gonna do an email with you. We want you to answer. The listeners have issues. We want you to help them with their issues. That's the best type of issue. Not my problem, someone else's problem.
Exactly.
So we're gonna go into it. You ready? Jays and Candace getting a shout out. Benefit subscriber here. Love you guys. Look forward to listening every week. I'll get right into it. I've been dating a guy for about 2 months. We're both in our late 20s in NYC. I'm totally smitten. Think he is too. He's funny, communicative, smart, and we have amazing chemistry. We're at that weird in-between point where we're exclusively seeing each other, but no boyfriend, girlfriend quite yet. About 2 weeks ago, he started acting a little distant, so I gently called him out on it. Turns out he had gotten a potential opportunity to switch roles in his company, but it would require him to move to Europe indefinitely. Nothing is set in stone yet. He doesn't even have an official offer. But it's something he's considering. I would never want to hold someone back from doing something that makes them happy. He needs to do what he needs to do. And if that means moving to Europe, then I will support him in that decision, even though selfishly I would love it if he stayed here. I did say that if he decided to move, I would stop seeing him right then and there so that things don't drag out, which he understood. I also told him that prior to this news, I saw us heading towards a real relationship, which he agreed with and said that if he remains in NYC, that's definitely where we're headed. He's applying to other jobs in NYC area and does seem a little fed up with his company, so it's not clear he'll actually make a move or not. My question for you two is this. How long should I wait for him to make a decision? A lot of this is dependent on his company, which I recognize is out of his control. He hasn't gotten any more information or even a potential offer from them so far. This is all talk. But the more we hang out, the more I like him. Is it worth continuing to build something that might not last? If I end it now to avoid being hurt, when he makes the decision to leave, will that be any less painful than continuing to invest in him and then him deciding to leave? What if I end it and he ends up deciding to stay? I told him I don't know how long I can wait for him to make a decision, and that being in this in-between, aka purgatory, makes it difficult to keep things progressing between us. But now that I'm writing that out, that's kind of obvious, LOL. So what do you guys think? How long is too long to wait? Is it a waste of time and energy to invest in someone who may or may not be here in a few weeks? Thanks for your advice, an international betch. Olivia, how do you feel?
That was a lot of information.
Lots of info.
I think being headed towards a relationship, like how long have they been hanging out?
Couple months,
Like, what do you mean? You should know.
2
like,
months.
Okay, like we might be headed towards a relationship. That feels like a cop out to me. Like I feel like you should know someone's intentions before that. Also, I don't know. I mean, I think that once you already like someone, no matter how long you drag it out, like it's gonna hurt. Once you're already in it, you're in it and you like them, and it's gonna hurt regardless when you break up. I don't think that like the length of time makes it hurt any less or any more. I think maybe if you're like married and you're like really committed to that person, like that's obviously a huge thing to like end it then. But I think if you like someone and you want to see it through until it's not going to work anymore. You already like him. You know?
Right. It is interesting that she's like holding herself back from any pain whatsoever. She's like, what's the least painful route?
Yeah.
And that's like a bad question to ask.
Right.
And sometimes people let people ask that question. Like, I agree with what you said, cop out. Because I do think people when someone's like looking for the exits and they see this like job opportunity that doesn't even exist yet.
That was my thought. I think it's like a red flag that he's like slowly rolling out this potential job opportunity that he hasn't heard anything about for months. To me, he's like laying the groundwork to maybe get out in a way that he doesn't have to. He's not to blame. It's this potential job.
Right. And
Right?
because like, you know, two people who are like just down for it. Two people who are just obsessed with each other, enjoying their time. There is talk of the future, but it's like, it's kind of like assumed. There's just that assumption. This idea of like, so if the job comes up, I'm going to have to end to let you know. I don't think that really happens. That's why breakups are crushing. You know, they surprise you. You know, you were there and then the rug gets lifted beneath you. I hate you, I love you. If you go to, you know, the song, you know, like it's that hate and love go together, you know? So I don't know. I think like, to me, if I'm her, I'm just like, you got to keep going. And he's going to give you an answer to why he won't do that, you know, pretty quickly.
You think stay, just run the course. See what
it's
happens.
hard to tell because she's like writing us about her feelings, and it's hard to tell someone how to feel because like her feelings are fear. I am fearful that I'm going to get hurt so much when this ends, if it has to end. And then at that point, I'll be a year later than I am now, you know, like
you can't
she's
plan a heartbreak. Like
right.
Everything, you either break up or one of you dies.
Yeah.
Right.
And he doesn't really seem to say he doesn't seem to be saying anything super reassuring.
Well, he was
Right.
reassuring. The only time he was reassuring is when she goes, I see this going towards a relationship. He's like, me too. And you're like,
Right.
That's an easy thing that's
To
kind
say,
of that's
right,
easy to say. Like,
because again, if he's using this move to like slow fade her, then he's not going to like
whatever.
not say that because he could just it's solved with well, I don't know, I might be moving at some point.
And if
Right.
you really, really like someone, you kind of just go all in. Like it doesn't really
I agree.
like you just send it. Like
right. The
none of this
idea
stuff
of
should matter.
like, and then when Europe comes up, it comes up, you know,
Yeah.
and then you decide, okay, how are we, you know,
I'm surprised
relationships
he even told her
negotiate.
before he got a job. Like to me, it's like, why would you even tell someone about something that doesn't exist?
especially if it's not even your like partner yet. Like you guys are
Exactly.
just talking. Why would you tell someone? Yeah.
The only way to smoke out a move is to just be totally in. Like if she wants to
Great.
like know if this is a move or not, like if this is a move to get out of the relationship.
Yeah.
If she really wants to find out, which it sounds like she doesn't want to find out. She wants to plan
Definitely
ahead.
not, yeah.
But she's never going to take this advice. But the way to smoke this guy out to be like, listen, whatever happens, happens. I just want to be together. You're my boyfriend. If she just says you're my boyfriend and let's enjoy,
Well, she'll find out
c'est
very
la
quickly.
vie, and he'll go, oh well, what about? He'll bring up, well, what about
just
the
can't
visa
do-
program? You know, like he's gonna bring up 7,000 other things, and you're gonna find out right away.
It's just like that Sex in the City clip I showed you
Right.
with I'm not sure if you've seen Sex in the City.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when Rebecca's moving to Paris and she's like, well, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And he's like, yeah, but if you come, like, you're coming not for me. And she's like, why would I go to Paris? Like, not for you. And then that's how you find out.
Right. This is how
Then
every
you throw a burger, you throw a McDonald's Whopper at his face.
at his face.
Yes.
Well, we should give this the name. Put on the beret. To me, that's like the name for this move is put on the
Just
beret.
like Carrie. Yeah.
Right. Just like Carrie, you go. They go. I think I might have to move to Europe, and then throw
Great.
the beret on,
We're
and you
going to
go,
Europe.
wee wee, motherfucker. And you'll find out right away. Oh well, I don't know if you could come too, maybe.
And you don't
in
want
a
to be with
week.
someone that doesn't want you to like send it and go
Right.
like
Right.
it doesn't have to be. I don't know. I just this like whole like we're talking for a long time and I don't know if we like each other. That's never gonna work out. You should be in the honeymoon phase for the first like year of your relationship.
Right.
If he doesn't want you to come now, he's never
not
gonna
gonna
want
want
you
you
to
in a
come.
year. Yeah.
Well, I think the misconception that she has in this email that is very evident is this idea that we're a we. Like, you're not a we.
Yeah.
You're an I. We've been seeing each other 2 months, and she's waiting for both of them to hold hands and cross the emotional the emotional finish line. It's like, no. Has to be I.
Right.
And then they go, I am too, me too. Or they go, ta-ta.
That's what I'm saying.
And wave goodbye to you in your
you're in or you're
beret.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like if she stops thinking of this emotional state as a we thing, I think she'll be better off.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think we helped her.
Absolutely.
I feel like she's not gonna take that advice though.
Zero chance.
No one ever takes the
No one ever-
I don't take the advice I
Yeah.
give.
No, me too. Yeah.
You know, so Olivia, this was a pleasure. We're so happy we had you on. We want everyone to go, and June 21st, you can stream Love and Limerence. It is an EP, 6 songs.
5 songs.
Five
Five
songs,
songs.
sorry. Up to 6.
Up to apparently
Is
an EP can be up to 7 now. I
Up
just
to
learned
7.
that. I think so.
Okay. But there's 2 songs that are out right now for your listening pleasure. We should put the link in the bio of this episode on YouTube and on podcast. We'll have the link so people can jam out Are they crying songs?
Crying songs.
They're crying
Oh, nice.
songs? Is that what you do? If someone was like,
Mostly.
I hate when someone's like, what's your style? It's like the most annoying question in the world, but would you say
Crying
crying
songs.
songs?
Probably, yeah. I
Yeah?
mean, it's like, yeah. People, like my number one comment I get from fans or like when I meet people in person, they're like, you got me through my breakup. So it's like that kind
Right.
of stuff.
That's this
that's why
podcast.
I see what you're like what you were saying. Where you're like, I need to like not be in a happy relationship because no one wants to hear about that. That's not an interesting story, and that's not an interesting song.
Right.
Like
I
I'm
love
saying-
you. I
yeah,
love you is not a fun song. That's a baby song.
Right.
I hate you. I love you is a fun song.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I saw this meme the other day and it was like, woman is afraid to be in happy relationship because it will like ruin her creativity, but luckily she has mental illness to fall back on. I was like, that's so me. Like, why am I'm so worried that like if I was in a healthy relationship, like my art wouldn't be as good. And it's like, no, girl, you're insane. Like, you'll be fine.
Are you close to your family?
Yeah.
No.
I'm like best friends with my dad. My sister lives in Wyoming, so I like
Okay.
don't see her that often, but we're close. Like, we talk almost every day. My mom and I have an interesting relationship, but like love her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Use that.
Right.
I'll listen.
That's a good song. My mom and I have an interesting relationship. Would be the next
That's a great title.
EP,
I love it,
yeah. Well, I mean, does your dad hear the songs and like want to like beat the guy up? Like,
No, my
is there
dad
any
is the
help?
chillest guy in the entire world. He like he listens to my music just as like music. He doesn't really think about who it's about or what's happening. He's just
Right.
like, love this song. It's so great.
As men do.
Right.
Just not thinking too deeply.
Just
Yeah.
walking
Yeah.
along,
Just
happy.
vibing.
Do. Yeah, that's
Right.
every thought in my head. Yeah. Well, Olivia, it was a pleasure. We're so happy you came on. We want everyone to go follow, support, listen to everything you do. And we solved dating again, Jordana.
We did it.
We'll be back on Wednesday. Boom.
Bye. The You Up podcast is produced by Candace Maniga and Shannon Sassone. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candace Maniga. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.